Tantor Audio, a division of Recorded Books, presents Bullet and Forgiveness by Daphne Loveling, narrated by Jillian Macie and Troy Duran. To the listener, this audiobook version of Bullet contains a bonus novella, Forgiveness, a Lords of Carnage MC Christmas. 1. 6. Is it the number of times you've broken a man's heart? He teases me. Because if so, you're about to make it number 7. I laugh in spite of myself. No, that's not it either. Face it, you're never going to get it. Would you tell me if I did? Bullet challenges. He gives me a sexy wink. Come on now. I bet I already guessed weeks ago. No, you honestly haven't, I tell him, flushing slightly. Although he is right, I wouldn't tell him even if he guessed. The name I go by, 6, is a frequent source of interest and amusement here at Rebel Inc. Though, if you wanted to find a place where a weird first name would blend in, a tattoo parlor is probably one of your best bets. I work here as a receptionist and aspiring tattoo artist. I fit right in among Chance, Sumner, Hannah, and Dez. Most of my customers hardly even blink when I tell them my name. Hell, a lot of them go by handles even stranger than mine. Like Bullet, for example. But so far, Bullet is the only one of our customers who's been this insistent on trying to find out what my name means. The first time he came into the shop, all leather-clad, tattooed, and gorgeous, and introduced himself, I tried to deflect his question by pointing out that his name was just as weird as mine. But then he immediately told me his real first name is Wyatt, and that Bullet is the road name given to him by the Lords of Carnage MC. Apparently, road name is what motorcycle clubs call the nicknames their members go by. If he can be believed, Bullet has an actual bullet lodged in his body, hence the choice of monikers. And hence why he keeps insisting I need to reciprocate, and reveal to him why I go by 6. Bullet leans forward now, one elbow propped up on the counter of the reception desk that separates us. He's close enough to me that I can't help but notice the flecks in his golden brown eyes. Beneath his short, dark beard, one corner of his full mouth twitches with mischief. I think I know what 6 stands for, he murmurs in a low voice. There's an intimacy to his tone that sends heat straight to my core. Damn it, this man has no business being this hot. I swallow audibly and try to look unaffected by his words. Oh, yeah, I retort, but my voice comes out a little less steady than I want it to. Yeah, he breathes. It's the number of times I'm gonna make you come. Jesus. His words are so unexpected that I pull back in surprise, knocking a cup of pens and pencils off the counter and onto the floor. The clatter is loud, and I jump, pulse rate spiking as my heart starts to hammer in my chest. Sorry to startle you, darling. Bullet gives me a wicked, satisfied smirk. He glances down at the mess I've created. You need some help with that? He asks, lifting an amused brow. No, I mumble hastily, as I bend down behind the counter to gather up the pens. I feel my cheeks flush, even redder than before. Bullet loves to flirt with me when he comes into the shop, but my God, he's never said anything remotely that direct before. If it was any other guy, I'd give him a piece of my mind. I might even go as far as to tell the owner, Chance, that one of his customers was sexually harassing me. But as I pick up the cup and pens with shaking hands, I realize there's a reason I won't say anything to Chance. And it isn't because Bullet is a member of the Lords of Carnage MC, the local motorcycle club that gives our shop all of their tattoo business. It's not even because I'm afraid of getting on the wrong side of a man who's probably not used to being refused anything by anyone. The real reason I won't say anything? It's because I've fantasized about exactly what Bullet just said. Way more than 6 times. While I'm still down on the ground, I take advantage of the 2 or 3 seconds where I'm hidden from view to take some deep breaths and try to come up with a smart alecky response. One that won't reveal to Bullet how rattled I am. But thankfully, just as I'm picking up the last pen, my boss, Chance Armstrong, comes striding down the hall. "Bullet, my man!" His booming voice calls out in greeting. "Shit, you've been in here a lot lately. You here for some more ink?" I stand up awkwardly, just in time to see Bullet turn and lift his chin at Chance. "Hey, man, yeah." He grins easily, spreading his hands. "What can I say? I got some time and some space to fill." This is the 3rd tattoo in 2 weeks, I point out, breathing a little sigh of relief that the subject has been changed. "I don't know how you have any more space on your body left." For some reason, even saying the word body in reference to Bullet makes me shiver a little, but I try hard to ignore it. Bullet glances at me, looking slightly feral. "Don't worry, I still got some room." He winks at me again, and my mind can't help but slide into dangerous territory, wondering exactly where he is and isn't tattooed. A low thrum starts up on my skin, which feels almost electric. I try to ignore it, but it does no good. "Shit, Bullet, I don't have any open appointments until later this afternoon." Chance frowns, glancing at the clock on the far wall. "I guess I can fit you in, though, if you want to come on back." "Actually," Bullet replies easily, "I was thinking 6 could do the tat." "What the what?" "Me?" I ask in surprise. I glance uncertainly from Bullet to Chance. "But, I mean, I'm still in training." "I trust you," Bullet murmurs. "You've been training with Chance for a while now, right? He wouldn't have taken you on if he didn't have confidence in you." Actually, Chance took me on as a favor to Hannah. She started out here as a receptionist, too. Chance didn't know me from Adam, or Eve, when I first walked in the door to Rebel Inc. I've worked my ass off to pay him back for taking a chance on me, learning everything I could and taking all the grunt jobs, just to show him how thankful I am. So far, he's never had any cause to complain about me. He's even said once or twice that I'm a quick learner and that I have a good eye. Still, it's one thing to do a simple flower on some 20-year-old girl's ankle. It's entirely another to ink a member of an outlaw motorcycle club. I could completely ruin Rebel Inc.'s reputation with the MC if I fuck it up. If Bullet's tattoo turns out bad, and one of the other lords asks about it, that would be enough to harm the shop. Which is why I look again at Chance, hoping like hell he'll refuse. But instead, he just gives us a brief nod and shrugs. "Sure, I'll have Des come out and man the phones," he says, swiveling on his booted heel. "Come on back, Bullet. I can come in and supervise 6 while she works." Desperately, I cast around in my head for some excuse to say no. But before I know it, Chance and Bullet are already walking down the hall toward one of the free rooms. With a helpless sigh, I stand up and follow them, stomach already churning. On the way down the hall, Chance stops by Dez's room and tells him to go out front and man the desk for me. Then, almost before I know it, I'm sitting on a stool with Bullet in front of me. Looks like this is happening. Well, shit. Here goes nothing, right? 2-6 Bullet shrugs off the patched leather cut he's always wearing and tosses it on a counter. Then, without any ceremony, he reaches up over his head with one arm and pulls his black t-shirt off over his head in one fluid motion. "Chance knows the tat I want," he says casually, and points to a spot low and to one side of his ripped abs. "We talked about it before. It's gonna go right here." Holy hell. Everything has happened so quickly. I'm totally unprepared for the sight of Bullet's naked chest and torso right in front of me. I've been apprenticing with Chance for months, and I'm no stranger to seeing people unclothed. Tattoo artists see a pretty wide variety of naked body parts, for better or for worse. Old, young, fat, skinny. I thought I'd seen it all by this point. I've observed and even worked on plenty of chest and back tattoos for guys and women alike. Part of the job involves keeping a professional distance from sites like this. For the most part, that's been pretty easy. Like how gynecologists get to the point where they probably don't see the hoo-haws they examine as anything other than just part of the whole reproductive system. I mean, staring at vajayjays all day has to make them seem pretty uninteresting after a while, right? Just a biological reality, nothing more. But this? Well, let's just say my body's reaction to seeing Bullet shirtless is a little more intense than I expected. Since I'm already recovering from our earlier flirting session, my skin is still sort of tingling from his "how many times he's going to make me come" remark. Now, faced with the reality of his ripped, half-naked body right in front of me, so close I can touch it, and the fact that I am about to actually touch it, I'm feeling all sorts of hot and bothered. I can barely hear anything through the roar of blood in my ears. The thudding of my heart is so loud, I swear it's audible to everyone in the room. I swallow with difficulty, then try to arrange my facial features into an expression of professional indifference. As I try to get my racing pulse under control, I take a few seconds to examine Bullet's tattoos. Maybe if I just concentrate on the artwork itself, I can distance myself from how fucking hot the canvas is. Like Chance said earlier, Bullet is already covered in quite a bit of ink. Most of it is absolutely beautiful work. Tons of people come into the shop with all sorts of poor quality tattoos, but that's definitely not the case here. I can instantly tell that Chance has done a lot of these designs, just by the style and the degree of skill and precision. Both of Bullet's arms are covered to the wrists in intricate sleeves. Across his torso is a repeating pattern of skull and razor wire. Lower down on his incredibly muscular and delicious stomach. Okay, calm down, Six, and concentrate for God's sake. The razor wire snarls together to form another, larger and more intricate skull. It's incredible stuff. So beautiful, I could happily let my eyes play over the artwork for hours, regardless of the taut, muscled body underneath it. But good Lord. The way his ink accentuates the carved sculptural perfection of Bullet's body is a thing to behold in itself. And, unfortunately for me, his tattoos only emphasize how perfectly tempting it would be to reach out and trace the outline of his tapered abs and hard muscular chest. An almost irresistible desire to let my hands roam over him wells up inside me. I'd do almost anything to find out for myself whether this man feels as good as he looks. My breathing grows shallow as I fight against the thoughts that threaten to overpower me. Being so close to Bullet for the next hour or so is going to be pure fucking torture. I open my mouth in a last-ditch attempt to get out of this, but then snap it shut again like a fish. There's nothing I can do or say that won't make me seem like a weirdo and make Chance pissed at me. There's no way to talk Bullet out of this without compromising my job. I just need to suck it up and do the tat. That's all there is to it. It's a professional challenge, nothing else. I'll have more of them in the future. Though it's hard to imagine another tattoo in my whole career will ever be quite as challenging as this one's going to be. Okay then, I squeak, hating how I sound. I clap my hands on my thighs. What's the design we're doing? Chance turns to Bullet. We still doing what you talked about last time? He nods. Yeah, the bullet. I'll go grab the stencil. A bullet, eh? I managed to smirk. Appropriate. Yeah, he replies, a little gruff. Been meaning to get this one for a while. It's gonna go right there. Forcing myself to act cool and unaffected, I lean in to take a better look at the spot he's indicating. He shifts in his seat to give me better access. The tattoo is meant to go on his right abdomen, over the external oblique muscle. Moving closer, I see he has 2 long scars across his skin at the site, which are not yet covered by any ink. They look like they maybe could be from a knife. There's also a long, strangely shaped furrow along his back and around to his side. It's still in there, he tells me, since it was too close to some organ or other to take it out. I swallow nervously. I guess he wasn't kidding about having a bullet in him. You want me to tattoo scar tissue? I croak. Just at the edge here. He runs a thumb along the end of the scar, at the entry point. You're pretty nonchalant about having a bullet in you, I remark, trying for humor. Is that something that happens to you often? Bullet has always been so easygoing and charming around me that I'm expecting his usual flippant reply. But what comes back at me instead lowers the temperature in the room by 5 degrees. Only once. His voice drops to a dark, menacing register. All semblance of flirtation between us instantly evaporates into thin air. The man who gave it to me is dead now. Instantly, I freeze, shocked by the abrupt change in his demeanor. Wow, I manage. That's unlucky for him. No, Bullet bites out, his jaw turning to stone. He's the lucky one. I have no idea what that means, but I don't dare ask more. I doubt he'd tell me. And even more than that, I'm almost certain I don't want to know. For the first time, I get a glimpse of the dangerous man beneath the joking, laid-back exterior. I've mostly ignored the leather biker cut that Bullet always wears into the shop, except to briefly wonder what it means to be a member of the Lords of Carnage MC. I mean, sure, I know there's probably stuff they get up to that's not exactly legal. Given my own past, I can't really judge anyone for that. But this is the first time I've come close up to the grim reality of what club life might be like, what Bullet's life is like. I'm not sure how to feel about the fact that the evidence of that violence is right here, under my touch, and that I'm about to tattoo a visual representation of that violence indelibly onto his skin. Taking a deep, calming breath, I shut my mouth and try to pretend the last 30 seconds didn't just happen. Instead, I get to work prepping. I set out the paper towels I'll need to wipe his skin. Ink cups, ointment, rinse cup, sterilized tubes, needles, razor. When my table is prepped and I'm sure I have everything I need, I grab the alcohol from the counter beside me and set to swabbing the skin where Bullet's ink will go. Under my touch, the rigidity of his muscles slowly begins to ease. I work in silence, feeling the moment of tension between us begin to slip away as well. The tightness between my shoulder blades eases up a bit, and I allow myself a small sigh. I'm still hardly comfortable being this close to him, but I'm thankful to have something to keep me busy and my mind occupied. It's still a struggle to ignore the raw sexiness of Bullet's naked torso, though. Why couldn't he have wanted a bicep tattoo? Or maybe his calf? Something that wouldn't have required him being shirtless? Something a little less lickable? Above me, Bullet chuckles low in his throat as I swab up toward his rib cage. Tickles, he rumbles. In spite of myself, I can't help but snort. Really? I glance up. You don't exactly strike me as the ticklish type. I'm not, normally. One corner of his mouth lifts. How about you? I bet you're one of those chicks who's ticklish all over. Back to the flirting, I see. I finish up and reach for the disposable razor to shave the area. That's privileged information, I deflect. Yeah? You gonna make me find out for myself? He leans forward until his warm breath is tickling my ear. I can do that. Without warning, my throat lets out this weird, rabbit-like yelp as I pull away. Okay, we're all prepped, I say in a strangled, giggly voice. I'm gonna go get that stencil now. Just sit tight. Standing up so quickly the stool scrapes noisily against the floor, I scurry out of the room and down the hall. Chance is just coming out of the room where we keep the thermal facts. Here's what he wants, he says, showing me. It's not that complicated, except for the shadowing. I take a look. Even though I'm still a jangle of nerves, the tattoo itself makes me breathe a little sigh of relief. The bullet is a little larger than life-size and rendered very realistically. The only tricky part is that it's designed to look as though it's hovering about an inch away from the surface. If I do it right, the shadowing will make it look as though it's just about to pierce the skin. I can do this, though. I'm good at shadowing. It's one of the things I've worked hardest on. Okay, I breathe. This looks easy enough. Don't be nervous, Chance tells me, reading my mind. You got this, 6. We go back into the room where Bullet is sitting patiently. I suck in some air and force myself to pretend he's an old, ugly, gross guy. Then, for the next 45 minutes or so, I focus on doing the best damn version of this tattoo possible. As I settle in, the familiar vibration of the tattoo gun starts to soothe me, and everything else begins to fall away. There's nothing like the experience of creating a piece of art that's designed to be forever etched into someone's skin. Even the simplest tattoos, if they're done well, have their own sense of movement. The way the patterns and shapes and colors dance is unique, as is the way they accentuate the body and tell a story. The person's body becomes a canvas, their skin a work of art in and of itself. The ink on my own body has become a part of me, as much as my hair or my nose or my smile. It's as much a window to my soul as my eyes. If you know how to read it, that is. Creating such an indelible marker of a client's identity is something I take more seriously than almost anything else. I know that's part of why Chance has kept me on and agreed to teach me. He feels the same way about tattoo artistry. And I know he wouldn't have anyone on staff at Rebel Inc. who didn't. When I've finally finished Bullet's tattoo, I'm sweaty and trembling. But in spite of myself, I have to say that I totally rocked the result. The bullet looks almost like a photograph. The shadow is so accurate that you'd swear it was right above his skin, suspended in a crucial, inevitable moment in time. I hand the mirror to Bullet so he can take a look. He stares at it for a couple of seconds, then lets out a low whistle. Damn, girl, he grins, giving me a nod. I should have had you doing my work all along. Chance, you've got some competition. Chance shrugs. She's got talent for sure. Sometimes it's the stuff that looks the simplest that's the hardest to do. He looks at me. You should take a picture of that for your portfolio. Feeling almost dizzy with triumph now that it's over, I take out my phone and do exactly as Chance says. Afterwards, I get Bullet's tattoo dressed and bandaged, then recite the aftercare instructions I know by heart at this point. Bullet listens patiently. I can tell he's just humoring me, but at least he doesn't interrupt. "Okay, dude," Chance says to him when I'm finished. He raises his hand and gives Bullet a fist bump. "You're good to go." "Thanks, man. See you soon." I walk with Bullet up to the front. Des, sitting at the receptionist's desk, looks up from his sketch notebook when he sees us. He shakes his hair back from his eyes. Then, with his typical nonverbal communication style, he stands and gives us both a nod and disappears into the back. I settle into the chair behind the front desk and tell Bullet the price for the tattoo. He pulls out a few bills and sets them on the counter in front of me. At first, I think he didn't hear me right. There's at least twice as much here as he owes. I open my mouth to tell him so when he cuts me off. "That's a tip, babe," he says. "And if you're thinking of turning it down, I got a way you can pay me back." I frown at him quizzically. "I can pay you back by just giving you your money," I point out. "Nah, your money's no good with me." He grins. I can't help but laugh. "You're a confusing man, Bullet." "I'm a simple man, Six, with simple wants." He leans forward. "And right now, I want you to agree to have a drink with me." "You ask me to go out with you every time you're here," I retort, brushing him off. "Yeah, I do," he agrees. "And I'm gonna keep doing it until you say yes." Bullet cocks his head and gives me that golden stare of his. "So, let's just cut to the chase, huh? Come on, Six. One drink. Live a little." Live a little. The words resonate in my head. He doesn't know the half of it. I live like a hermit here in Tanner Springs. It's true, and that's by design. The whole point of coming to such a sleepy town was precisely so I could live. Under the radar and avoiding detection. This place has been really good for that. But his words hit home a little harder than he can know. Because the truth is, I want to go out with him. And because somewhere along the line, my life has been reduced to not much more than just existing. Other than coming to work and a very rare girls' outing with Hannah, I have no social life at all. That's the way I wanted it. It's perfect for me. It's how I survive. But I am lonely. And I'm tired of spending every evening staring at the TV, alone, and trying not to think about a future filled with nothing more than an endless stream of nights just like that one. And here, right in front of me, is a man who just won't take no for an answer. That should piss me off. I should tell him in no uncertain terms to back the hell off. But it doesn't. Not at all. It makes me nervous, yes, but not angry. Because, if I'm honest with myself, Bullet makes me feel things I haven't felt in a very long time. Every time he has asked me out, even though I always refuse, a flutter starts deep in the pit of my stomach, a flutter of excitement, of possibility, of things that could be possible if my life were a different one. That alone should tell me he's someone I should be running far away from. But for some reason, I don't refuse him automatically like I have every other time. This time, instead of telling him no like I should, my stupid pie hole opens and what comes out of it seals my fate. "Okay," I half whisper. "One drink, and then you let it drop. Deal?" "One drink, Six, and then," he winks, "we'll see what happens next."
3. Bullet. Damn, that girl is wound tighter than a $2 watch. Even though she puts on a big show like she's untouchable, I can tell there's something else going on with her. Six has got a wall around her so thick I can almost see it. She doesn't let people get close. Why? I have no idea. But if I only get one shot with her, I'm going to make it count. Having Six do my ink turns out...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?